Hello driving intelligence community. Recently, a company named YITA LLC, an aftermarket parts company, came to me and asked me if I would review one of their products on my channel. When I looked at their products, they had something I'm interested in. It's a smoked lens, and I've been interested in putting smoked headlight lenses on my Harley Davidson F150 that would kind of match with the gray metallic or shadow gray paint. They sent me free of charge a set of headlight assemblies, which includes the headlight and the corner marker, for me to test. And I told them I would do a fair review on my channel. Stay tuned. This package from YITA Motor came from the US. It's made in China, and I haven't opened it yet, so we'll see the contents together. Before I get started with the headlight replacement, I want to start by marking the wall where my stock headlights reach. You can see that there's a concentrated spot on the door right here, and then next to the jukebox there's another one here. I'm going to place tape in those two locations. So once I put the new headlights in, I can adjust them to make sure that they're pointing at the appropriate location. Now that the wall is marked, I can start this assembly. I'll start this assembly by first focusing on the corner lamp. That requires removal of the 7mm bolt. I'll pull up these two tabs and the assembly can be removed. Now that I've removed my stock headlight assembly, I want to do a comparison between these, which are still in perfect condition. I keep them polished and clean, against the Autosavers 88. Now, the first thing I notice when I compare the two is that my headlight, my original headlight, is substantially heavier than the YITA LLC. The OEM headlight weighs 2 pounds, 6.2 ounces, and the aftermarket headlight weighs 1 pound at 9.3 ounces. That's almost 1 pound difference, 13 ounces. By contrast, the OEM corner light weighs 10.8 ounces, whereas the aftermarket unit weighs more at 12.5 ounces. Next, I notice that there is a little bit of a difference in design in terms of some of the lines that are on the Harley Davidson F150 headlight, the amber strip down here, and the entire interior of the housing is chromed. The Autosavers 88 is highly chromed in the back. It's got a nice clean design, I like, nice clean lens, but the floor of the headlight is not chromed, so it makes me wonder if they're going to be as bright as the stock headlights. In terms of the back of the headlight, they're identical. They have the same type of adjusters, so that's going to match up perfectly to the truck. Moving on to the corner lamps, here's the Harley Davidson corner lamp with the lines, the amber strip on the bottom, and its 100% chromed interior. In contrast, the Autosavers 88 has no chroming at all. The amber strip is on the side, nice clean design on the outside. But I want to point out several things on the back that are different from the original OEM unit. First of all, it doesn't come with the U-clip that you'll need here to screw it in with the 7mm bolt. Then you do have the two pins that go into mounting locations on the fender, but the bottom pin doesn't have a slot on it, or it's not a slot, but a slider. I'll show you here. You can see on the bottom there is this strip of plastic that rides into a slot on the fender. This one does not have that. Another thing that I noticed when I put the passenger side headlight on is that the socket is not tight. The plastic here is not tight enough to hold it firmly. This material here isn't as thick as it is on the original. When this bulb is put in, it's not tight. You can see it moving up and down, which is going to allow moisture in there. The manufacturer needs to beef up this material a little bit, make it thicker, or come up with a thicker gasket to go on this bulb. Now my truck is a 32,000 mile truck. It's not old. The plastic is original, but it's still in great shape. I've seen that there's some comments about this on the Amazon page where the socket's not tight. Well, my solution was to go to a junkyard. I got a handful of these rubber rings that seal the headlight assembly. And what I did was I doubled up both of these, and it's pretty tight, but I used a little soap to lubricate it so it rotated on nicely. And I noticed that there's another color. There's a gray color out there, so I use the white ones. They're much more malleable and easier to smash together, but you're going to have to do that, or otherwise you're going to get moisture in the lens and it's just going to fog up inside. Now let's get into installation. The first thing I'm going to do, which hopefully makes adjusting easier, is check the distance of this little clip from the front of the housing. I'm going to do that on all three locations. Screw these in or out to match up with that. It looks like these are all actually quite a bit in, and then I can install the light. Here's a quick tip. It's kind of tight in here, so I put this painter's tape on this to protect the paint while I'm installing the headlight. With the initial adjustment complete, now I'm going to do a test fit. First headlight is installed, and you can see that with the adjustment I did with the lens removed once again, I'm pretty close. It's got to move up and to the left slightly. And I can do that quickly and easily with these two adjusters. There's one right here, and there's another one up here that I need to get to. Passenger side is complete, and generally it looks good, but there's a bit of a finish issue here. You can see how this corner sticks out a bit. It sticks out further than the stock unit. The headlight itself is recessed in, and I can adjust that back out. So I'm going to go through adjusting this to bring it out a little bit to even it up with the corner lamp. I've got both units out, and I'm trying to fix this issue by adjusting these adjusters out several turns each. I've already done the bottom two. I got to do the top one, and then I'll do a fit test once again. Finished reinstalling these after backing these adjusters out about 7 full turns just to bring this whole assembly out. I've got to check the alignment against my tape mark to see if the headlight is still pointing in the proper direction. That pretty much resolved a lot of the flatness issue, where these are pretty much smooth across here, but the gap is pretty sizable. Standing back, I guess most people, maybe most wouldn't notice. Comment below what you think. But if I go to the stock headlights on the driver's side, this gap is so tight, this almost looks like one piece. And just a line here, a molding line. Here's a shot with the lights on, and I'll be honest, I actually really like this corner light and the reflection of the amber inside. It gives it a pretty nice little glow. It's not as bright as it was because there's no chrome in there, but I do like that look, interestingly enough. I wasn't sure if it was going to be bright enough because there's no chrome. The headlight is extremely bright, so there's a lot of reflective material in there. It's as bright as I'd hoped it would be, even though there's no chrome on the floor of the headlight. So it's looking pretty good. Again, all of this is personal opinion, but I definitely like it. Before I move the vehicle, I want to do a final adjustment on these headlights while I still have the markings on the wall. You can see the adjusters, which are 4mm, are pretty deep inside. I got a long ratcheting extension, 4mm from Amazon. I'll link it below. Got the Harley all cleaned up. She's looking nice. And I'm going to do a drive-by in a second just to show what they look like with the lights on. Now, I'm asking you to give me a thumbs up for the review, but don't judge my video based on whether or not you like these headlights. I'm trying to be honest. This is an honest review, and I'll show you already. I've got a fogged corner light right out of the box after washing the truck. I like the look. They're good looking, but that is a problem, which I'm going to reach out to the manufacturer about. So let's get to the drive-by. In closing, I like these headlights. They go well with the dark shadow gray metallic paint on the truck, as well as the smoke tail light lenses that I put on some time previously. There are some things you have to consider. You have to double up on those gaskets to make sure that the bulb socket doesn't leak. There is a little bit of an alignment issue between the two, the headlight and the corner light. It looks okay from a distance. It's not as tight as OEM. And then there's the piece of plastic that you use to slide it into the fender that's missing. Doesn't affect installation, and it should not affect the corner light staying in the vehicle when you're driving down the road. But most importantly, there is that leak issue. Now, to add a caveat to this, about 5 years ago, I bought some high-end aftermarket headlights for my 2002 XLT 4x4 F150, and they leaked out of the box also. I made a claim on the warranty, and they replaced them, and I've not had a problem since. They've been perfect. So don't buy these lights, or any light for that matter, put them on the shelf and let them just sit there. Because when you finally do put them in, if they do have a leak and you try to get your warranty claim, the warranty's probably expired. Hope you liked this video. Please give me that thumbs up if you did. I'll see you next time on Driving Intelligence.